Hi, it's me, Kay Cook, and as part of this Live Thrive series of interesting conversations, inspiring resilience, my interview with Dr. Richard Bandler deepens. And in this excerpt, he talks about the difference between good questions and bad questions, good thoughts and bad thoughts, good feelings and bad feelings. And very interestingly, he talks about undermining the quality of your life with bad planning. So,
do you think that then that what this grand pause, one of the wonderful things that will come out of it is people's awareness of things that really matter to them, like how they spend their time, like how they are interacting with their family or pets or whatever it might be, and who they're missing? Do you think there'll be a shift in some people's
I
value?
think the people who spend their time wisely will appreciate it. I think the more people we can get to do that, the better. I don't think it would be instinctual for human beings. You know, there's a real difference. Most of the people that I've modeled who are successful at things ask certain good questions. And the people that come in as clients, whether they're rich or poor, all ask the same bad questions. But what if? But what if this never ends? But, you know, what if I get so far in debt I can never get out? These kinds of loaded questions get you to think bad thoughts, make bad pictures, talk to yourself in bad tonality, make bad feelings, and it all feeds on itself. And whether there's a grand pause or not, that's been, I've been working. And, you know, we never seem to run out of people that know how to that know how to undermine the quality of their own life. And it's all done with bad planning. Part of the reason I wrote the book Thinking on Purpose was because over all the years that I've worked with people, you know, the one thing that I can count on is that most people have confused remembering with thinking. So therefore they say, I think I can't do something. They're only remembering that they haven't. They're not thinking that they can and trying it in a new way. You know, my great uncle became a millionaire, which was a big deal, you know, in the 1940s and 50s and 60s, 3 times, and got completely wiped out, not because of something he did, but because of external forces. One was the unions destroyed his business. And, you know, he had like the 4th largest trucking company in the Northeast, and the unions firebombed his trucks because he wouldn't join the union, because his employees didn't want to, because he paid them more than the union did. And they eventually took the whole company away from him. He drove away and he had absolutely nothing but a broken down old car. And when he got to New York, the car broke. And he rolled into a gas station, and the guy said he couldn't fix it till the weekend because there was no way for him to shut down the station and go buy parts. And so my uncle asked him how many cars he needed parts for, and went and bought all the parts, and he got them at a discount and sold them and built up another big business out of it. He did that 3 times. And he told me, he said, when, you know, a whole business fails, then you have to do the most important thing. He said, you have to be able to listen quietly inside, because there's this amazing thing that happens. You know, all the people who are talking and whining aren't listening and watching. And the people who listen and watch will find something to do, an opportunity to learn. I went into a diner once when I was fairly young, I think probably in my late teens, early 20s. And there were 2 people, and one was complaining about something, and one was complaining about the fact that he didn't make enough money and blah, 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 blah. And the other was complaining about all these rich people and, you know, how, you know, they all got it too easy and everything came to them too easy. And I looked down on the floor between the 2 of them, and there was a $50 bill on the floor, crumpled up, but sitting underneath the stool. And I got up and I bent over and I picked up the $50 bill and I looked under the guy next to me and there was a quarter. So I picked that up too. And then I looked the other way and there was $1. And it was about 3 or 4 bar stools down, and I went down and picked up the $1. So while they were busy whining, money was sitting on the floor. And I always remember that, because when you're quiet and you quiet the inside and you look for opportunity in every instance, and if you just listen to the news, they're going to program you to, their news people are always trying to make things worse, to make it more dramatic. I don't care what our president does, they always go, but what if, and they go, but what if it gets worse? And why didn't you do this? And why didn't you know everything ahead of time? And, you coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I'm fond of telling my students, you can shit in one hand and wish in the other, one of them will stick. And especially if you smack yourself in the face with them, you'll know which one. It's not about wishing, it's about noticing. It's about planning. And if you make good plans in your mind, when the moment is right, you will find it.